challenge you to think different.
Welcome to the show with your friend and mine. So tell me, Dr. Squee, who's it gonna be this time? We like to hear you talk, and we love to hear you listen. And if you are not subscribed, you won't know what you're missing. So welcome to the Dr. Squee Show. Welcome to the Dr. Squee Show. Welcome to the Dr. Squee Show. Headphones up. Here we go.
Hello and welcome to the Dr. Squee Show. I'm Dr. Squee and this is my show. This is an interview which I recorded at Squeefest. I don't know which one because this intro is going to go in front of the rest of them to go out. However, if you go to the QR code at the top, or if you follow the link justgiving.com/page/thinkl, you can donate to the Owl Centre charity, which is a neurodivergent charity, which all the interviews for Squeefest, which was my 24-hour online charity marathon of interviews. So we're raising money for the Owl Centre charity, which is a cause very close to my heart with neurodiversity. And you can also buy a single which we made. That is Think Different. If you just go to drsquee.bandcamp.com, or if you go to the Dr. Squee Show on YouTube, you can see the video now at youtube.com/Dr. Squee. But without further ado, here's this week's interview from Squeefest. Enjoy. But now we welcome to the stage. He is known for the Dark Room as a wonderful stand-up comedian. I'm already starting to flag. That's not a good sign. And a friend of mine who's always helping out with stuff like this. So thank you very much. And welcome to the stage, John Robertson.
Hey! Hello, folks. Hello, folks. Hello, mate. How you doing? How you doing? 3 hours into a 24-hour stream. How's that going for you?
See, that bit's easy. Like, you know, it's just the admin side of it where you suddenly get messages from people who someone hasn't received a link.
Yep.
I don't know why. Someone else is like some other problem. I realized suddenly I hadn't watched the David Lynch film I'm meant to be talking about. So I'm messaging with my friend Jim.
I wouldn't worry about that. I mean,
some subjects we have.
Yeah, but not watching a David Lynch film is the same as watching a David Lynch film. Just say it was a bit dreamlike and there were times when you were bored but also confused. And there's a day that you've done it.
I think life confuses me even more than David Lynch, though. So I probably
as it should, because it can affect you a lot more than David Lynch can. Certainly, recently.
By the way, our usual warning of the views of me and my guests might or might not reflect the views of the Owl Centre. They can talk to themselves, and they might be
the Owl Centre have a lot of strong opinions about David Lynch, do they?
No. It wasn't David Lynch which triggered that. It was actually because I was going to give a possible language warning, and then I noticed you've got a certain word up above you, which I won't say at this time of day. It's the name Di. I thought it might be controversial.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it used to be a lot more controversial, usually predated by the word princess. But yes. Yes, indeed. I mean, are you referring to the thing that is a sort of tunnel? I mean, I can remove it. That's actually embroidery.
All the way along, I've said that there are guests. Like, I'm trying to get 24 hours worth of people, some which are panels this time, to come on. I don't necessarily get to decide time, and plus it's going to be the evening somewhere. You're from Australia. That's got to be on a past the watershed, probably.
Indeed. What are we talking about? It couldn't possibly be the word cunt written behind me by any chance, could it?
You see, I just shouldn't have encouraged you, should I?
This beautiful embroidered cunt that we've got there. Yes.
So might just get a bit spicy, guys.
Yes. Well, it might get spicy, but there's a cream for that. Anyway, yes.
Also, like, as I always say, it's like, it's not just about the words you use, it's about the context behind it. And you, sir, are always very lovely. You just hide a lot in some of your material, which is why we love you. That was a compliment.
Thank you very much.
Calculate. It's like, do I attack or do I accept the compliment? I'm not sure which one that was.
I didn't detect a compliment, and it's a real pleasure to help you out on your charity stream. Anyway, okay, I might have, it's all good. It's all good. Like a cunt, it contained multitudes. Anyway, yes, that actually, the trouble is you can't see what that actually says. It's not just that word. It says you can say cunt, just don't be one, which is the thing that we have on my stream, which is you can engage in profanity. You know, like don't be transphobic, for instance, or don't be. This is a thing. It's very much in the Australian sense.
I mean, if you hadn't detected that I was neurodiverse, the way I ask questions sometimes give it away.
Well, we all indulge in a little bit of parallel play, and sometimes the sort of giving of a pebble. Nothing wrong with that.
But I mean, there's probably a better way of putting it, and I do sincerely mean this. It's like I think to do the way you do your humor is a bit like with a roast, which people do. If you're not coming from a place of love, then that's just awful to hear a roast. If you ever watched the roast of Chevy Chase, a lot of people have said this. It was like loads of people said no. So it's basically people he didn't know who were just coming on to just talk shit about him. It's like there was no love behind it, and it told. When you've got the other ones, and like with your work, like when you're on stage, you'll go right at someone, but it's kind of the love is always dripping, and you always kind of like give enough signs to that.
Well, thank you. Oh, thank you very much. I mean, that's a huge part of what we try to do. I think in the case with Chevy Chase and a lot of TV roasts, is that quite often you actually can't get people who want to do it. And sometimes you got people that the network would like to have do it. So like in Australia, they did a TV roast of John Cleese. Now, Michael Palin's not on there, both possibly because he didn't want to fly all the way to Australia to do this, but also because it's a lot cheaper to get a whole bunch of Australian comedians John Cleese has never heard of to say mean things about him. And, some of them do love him, but some of them, wouldn't have ever heard of him. But yeah, we try to do this. Otherwise, yeah, it is just abuse. But that's also the old thing with roasts is you roast the ones that you love. That's what it's meant to be. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, and I think God knows why this might be on this occasion. Oh, is that something you wanted to talk about?
No, not even remotely. I just wanted to. I wanted to see if it would what it would do, and I was glad it fascinated you. Please enjoy the cursed.
Just when you lifted it, I was like, "Oh, yeah, cool."
Yeah, please enjoy the cursed portrait of Greg Wallace. This,
oh God.
Yes, this was a gift given to me, and I keep bringing it to shows, and then it is cursed because I never managed to bring it out. So I've just started hiding it down on the bottom of screen. And
do you know there was it affected Dave Gorman's, because David Gorman took years of this show called Modern Life is Goodish on Dave, and they brought it back recently. He records the first series and it's only 4 episodes. It was 3 episodes because one of them was all about Greg Wallace. He had this bit in his routine he'd made into an episode, and he's like, there's no way of cutting it because like he's all over it, so you can only just get rid of it. And he goes, Greg was even in on it and recorded a little bit of all this stuff. Like, just to make it really unideal.
Well, I mean, the real victim of any media outrage are the comedians who, had wanted to do something. Yes.
There can be many victims. That's all I'm saying.
Well, indeed. That fact's actually not in dispute, but nevertheless. By the way,
I'm going to disagree with this. John arrives on the stream. It's instantly a problem. No, it just reminds me to give out certain warnings. That's all.
Well, I point at the sign. Don't make me tap it. No, that's fine. All right, it's okay. I can see 3 people agreeing.
Let's do the Trump roast where half of the days just wanted to take shots. Yeah, but even then, it was like it's before. Am I right in saying it? I think it was before his first presidential.
Well, of course it was.
Massacre.
It would absolutely.
But like then he was in that category of like, oh, he's such a buffoon. We can take the mickey out of him. Don't worry, he'll never get the chance to do any of these ideas. Oh,
yeah. I mean, with him at the time, I mean, he was, he was a famous person and somebody that people might have made the great mistake of assuming had any degree of a sense of humor about himself. Or even that the absence of a sense of humor wouldn't be followed up with homicidal intent But nevertheless, I will just say that, yes, people lining up to take shots at him, well, good luck. Give it a few more goes, Why not? There we are. Sorry. Yes, once again, this doesn't reflect the values of the Owl Centre. They seem like very nice people.
Somehow knew you were going to say that at the end of the answer, so I just let you go for it.
Okey-dokey.
Oh no, our accents have been perceived. Sure. Indeed it was. Anyway. Half time by the time I click on the thing, I don't know what they're relating to, but there we go.
Oh, don't worry about that, mate. I mean, it's all good. Like, pretty much everyone is just saying things that are broadly supportive of what you're doing. So
let's go for that.
Yes, and anyone who wouldn't be being broadly supportive of somebody doing a 24-hour stream for an autism charity would be as we say over here on the sign. So
I'm just going to throw in neurodivergent just for everyone else.
Terribly sorry, neurodivergent.
But brings me on to you, someone who celebrates his ADHD.
Brings you into me. What? Are you here now? Are you in the room with me? Is that what that is that I can feel? No, oh God, 9 inches in.
They thought it was impressive that I was doing 24 hours. My reach is even more impressive.
It's the girth. That's the real thing. I could feel it, Fred. He's 24 hours wide as well.
If anyone is watching, if they could just cut this clip and just put it on loop for me, that'd be grand. You're my friend.
The girth.
And until exes who know kind of see this, it'll be a great 2 minutes. Anyway, sir, how did you kind of like first discover about ADHD yourself? Like, how was school for you? How did that kind of journey go?
Oh, I mean, like I had academically, I remember having a pretty good time at school, with the exception of the part where I just couldn't do anything that I wasn't interested in. And there was just no way of doing that, like at all. And so I got tarred pretty quickly for being lazy. So I couldn't do physical education, just in no way spoke to me. And maths, it was just another language. And yeah, I mean, I was once off for about a semester. I had this appalling lung condition that then eventually just became stress and just became a habit. And the cough was so loud they kept me out of class. And my math scores were higher when I wasn't allowed in the classroom or sending any assessments in because the teacher was corrupt. So she just gave me a B. And then when I came back, she was like, "Oh, I actually got assessed for what I knew."
But I actually see there, it's like, so you got ill from probably something in the water, and that caused ADHD, as I understand it from
that's it.
The other day.
That's also exactly what I was just saying. Yes, and that's.
By the way, irony for anyone who maybe doesn't get the subtleties of sarcasm, that isn't meant jokingly. Even that was a joke.
No. Dr. Squee does not endorse that point of view. RFK Jr., the American health minister. He is the one who endorses that point of view. So don't worry. The streamer online isn't saying that seriously. The head of medicine in America is. But that's okay. We know what happens to Kennedys. Anyway.
Dude. Like, that's true assassination so early.
Well, there haven't been any bloody assassinations. There's been someone talking about people in power who have a history of these things being attempted in their direction. And that's a different thing. For the purpose of legality and also charity and also my US tour later in the year. So like I had a fine time like at school, with the exception of the part where I couldn't engage with these things in any way. You only years later, you're like, okay, my brain wasn't there. 90% of the time, I'd be thinking about something else. Like it really probably manifested itself mostly in behavior with other people, get a bit excitable, all of this. And also when I started really trying to act when I was at uni, a lot of what was going on was they were like, "Oh, you're not focused. Why aren't you focused?" And it's like, well, why would I be focused? We're saying this thing that we've said 12,000 times, like in terms of we've learned some lines. I'm standing in this highly artificial way. None of this resonates. My brain's on a million billion things that are happening in one place. It's very difficult to go and do this, right?
Yeah. Well, no, I just wanted to kind of stick on the school side of it, just because I find at uni age, it sounds like obviously there's still issues there, but like, I don't know, it just seems to be more openness in learning in university settings compared to school settings. They are so regimented around kind of rules and kind of orders of like, so someone like us at school is automatically outside of those kind of that rule structure. How do you find the teachers? Did they help at all with that?
I would like teachers were fine, with the exception of the maths teachers who thought I was doing it deliberately. Physical education teachers who've never had a single thought in their heads, and if they had, they wouldn't be physical education teachers. You know, well, that's a very old joke. You know, that terrible statement: "Those who can't do teach, and those who can't teach physical education." But yeah.
We don't need PE. We've got kind of ADHD energy. We just ran around the classroom anyway. We'd already done our PE. Then they want us to do it again.
Yeah, I think also like there was something to be said for you know, like my behavior at school was good. Like I was able to rein in the physicality, right? When I was listening to something that engaged me, but what that tended to be really was, you know, like usually an intelligent, empathetic woman telling me something that was of great interest that I could understand, and everything else that sort of be everywhere. But I didn't, I don't know, like Australian acting up in a classroom is probably quite a lot like here, but I could look at a child called Alvin who would just sort of, you know, scream incessantly, and, you know, all the rough boys who would, you know, just kind of, you know, I don't know, basically be, you know, just throwing crap around and all of this. And it was somewhere between, it's like, all right, some of these kids might be neurodivergent. Some of them are actually just popular children who are bored and are exerting authority. And somewhere in the middle of that, because I was quite a polite boy and well-spoken, what I was doing didn't really matter because I wasn't about to set the classroom on fire, except that time that I set the classroom on fire in science. But that was the object of the exercise, so that was okay.
It wasn't just a lucky coincidence.
No,
You've been doing that all week, and that one day it was perfect.
Oh, it was incredible. No, I was meant to be doing a presentation on stomach acids, and my way of expressing the idea of stomach acids going through a stomach wall was my father had bought a firework in Bali, which if you lit it up, would shoot some beautiful undulating purple flame about 7 feet in the air. And the teacher seemed to know that this was coming, because he gave me like a scientific beaker holder, like to hold it, right? And then
we've already had undulating. Now you're putting you're just doing this on purpose now, aren't you?
out of sweet interest, when you have sex, what undulates? What you're doing it wrong? Are you on a waterbed? What?
Again, for what I'm doing wrong, please consult any of my exes. They'll happily give you a list.
Oh, really? Like a slightly hardened jellyfish going in and out of.
No, I wasn't saying yes to that. I was saying if you ask my ex. No, anyway.
Anyway, and the thing just went boom, up it went, and then bang, and that was an enjoyable moment as we realized that maybe the ceiling wasn't 7 feet above that desk and was now on fire. That was good. A good time.
And did you kind of creative side start kind of coming out of that age, or was it kind of later you managed to focus down a bit more?
I don't understand the question.
Well, obviously, do creative stuff. You do some comedy and the dark room for a living. Was your creative side kind of sparked at school? Was it a bit later you gained more confidence? Because I was quite shy at school because of bullying and that kind of the sort of entertainment side of it kind of came out later, and the creativity became less kind of it became buttoned in because I was masking lots of my traits. So.
Okay. I mean, well, look, I should point out I've never had a formal diagnosis. I've just had various partners remark, on what it is. And then gradually over time, you sort of go, oh, hang on a minute. If I was capable of behaving in more than one gear, right, maybe life would be different. There are these things that I'm clearly missing and have missed the length of my life. I'm willing
to put a bet on it if that helps.
Oh, cheers. Thanks, mate.
No, you're one of us. Yeah, that is a compliment. Yeah,
Get some of them ADHD dollars.
If you take that as an insult, then you picked the wrong day to do that.
Well, God, yeah. I mean, it would be terrible to pop up on a neurodivergent charity stream and be like, you fucking what?
Yeah.
No. Like, it's, well, yeah. I mean, like, no, I never lacked confidence, but that's also because I don't really care about the alternative. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
as in it doesn't really exist. The thing is, I was relentlessly bullied, but I was convinced those people were wrong, you know, and just continued what I was doing, regardless, you know, like I would be very nervous, you know, like definitely fear and definitely kind of like, okay, well, this person's like this. But also the other thing was I was like, well, you know, fortunately I was buttressed by a lovely support structure. Like my mother was sort of like, well, these people are just terrible. You know, they shouldn't be doing that. And that's the correct answer, which is no, they shouldn't. You know, I look back at it and I'm like, you know, occasionally, every once in a while, another kid I went to school with may have had a point. You know, like the kid who quite reasonably went, look, when we finish school, could you just not be standing on the bench in the common room screaming when we all come in? It's a bit much, right? Like, that was a reasonable thing. But, you know, like as distinct from, oh, well, you're behaving differently. I don't have a way of countenancing that or a way of expressing it. I better become a massive homophobe and hit you. That was the thing that we hit a bunch of times. You know, like there was, yeah. I feel as though if it wasn't for Australia's prejudices in the mid to late 90s and the early 2000s, that diagnosis could have been a lot more accurate, a lot faster. You know, and also I will just quietly say, almost every single one of those boys from the boys' school I went to, who really had a problem with what they took to be my sexuality. You know, I've seen a lot of those boys shirtless in a lot of clubs over the years. I'm just saying, gentlemen, you know, like if they could have been a little more comfortable with themselves, I could have been a little more comfortable, and their fists could have been deployed for something useful, if you follow me.
There you go.
Something undulating, perhaps.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, on that subject, we've got a few comments from the floor. Spaced out when he's bored. I assume this is a question not related to anything we were saying. So, like having sex in trifle? I've never tried it myself, John.
Having sex in trifle?
On a trifle. It was very
on a trifle. On a trifle. No. I feel as though like what you had there was that's how you make a trifle. Is you've got a cake and you've got some jelly, and then you fuck on both of them, and by the time you're done, you've got a trifle.
There is an episode of Taskmaster where Alex Horn sits on a cake.
Oh, is there?
Yeah. It's oh god, I'm not thinking. Liza Tarbuck. She was on, and she got him to do that, and he probably pulled his trousers down, and he was going, it's like, well, there was a lot of it.
Yes, I can well imagine.
So, Div Loy, if you want to check that out, there you go. There's
oh, that's a gift. Well, yes, there used to be a subcategory on a website, the name of which we won't discuss right now. But nevertheless, a lot of food waste has been avoided by the creative recycling of some very dexterous people.
You see, yay the pervs! It all worked out
straight up. Yay the pervs! Yes,
very specific ones who don't. Anyway, I hate maths and got diagnosed with dyscalculia as an adult because they never noticed and just thought it was stupid. Yeah,
yes.
A story. And another one from Aritastico. That's the worst when they're like, you just need to try harder. So let's play a bit of kind of ones you heard at school. So lazy, stupid.
Never heard stupid.
No, that was my list. Sorry.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah. No, I got lazy. Must try harder. And the thing is, lazy was deployed for everything I was good at, as well. That was the thing I was tarred with. It was like, oh well, John wrote all of his thing the night before, you know, so that's bad. And you're like, well, Joe, it turns out, because people were saying to me for years, they're going, you know, why do you write it all the night before? Why can't you prepare? Why can't you do this? I was like, oh, well, it turns out I can't.
Yeah, I mean,
turns out I actually can't do that.
I didn't want to break any of the talks with some of the experts around the world, but this obviously is able to be a bit more conversational. Yeah, the reason why I don't have all the videos cut and uploaded and everything was I was literally doing the music video till 10 minutes before we went live. I finalized it. So as I said, any of the musicians involved watching, don't worry, I will sync up things a little bit tighter. It's not very far off, but I know I can make it look even better.
It's all good, friend. It's all good. I mean, like, I would suggest, my love, that lean into the positivity, because people are here for you and you are doing a wonderful thing and people understand.
Oh man, yeah. Like the fact that, like I say, these people do music for a living, and they've let me just have a go and give me advice to make me as good as I could be. But I don't even think that was to save their embarrassment. It was to help me. You know, it's
well, correct. I don't see how it would be to save their embarrassment. Like I've just seen the clip, and let's put it this way: you've got a bit on your own. You know, like you're doing a solo. The only person who'd be embarrassed in a solo is you. The others are fine. You know.
What are you saying about my performance? No.
What I'm saying, my love, is that it's great, but like that extra level of going, oh, I don't think they're doing it, so they're not embarrassed. Like, no, they want you to be the best that you can be. They're being deeply supportive. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
No, that was meant to be the point. Is like they were just so wonderful. Whereas, like, I mean, I wouldn't think it was unreasonable for people who do music for a living to go, hey, can we just hear some of your stuff first before we put you on the record? But they would like, yeah, we're in.
That's good. It's fascinating how they don't necessarily do that. I mean, like I played with a guy whose music I really respect one time, and I used to play one of his songs, and it was only just before we went on stage, he went, oh, go on, show me. And I did it, and he went, oh, thank God. And then we went on stage, and I fucked it up. It was perfect. It's a lovely photo of him realizing. It's good.
What I said to everyone was, as long as I can be charity single good, I'd be happy. And like my own ears, I think I did a bit better than that.
You did beautifully. You did a fabulous rap. It was a nice thing, you know, like, yeah, you're not the sausage roll guy. Remember him?
It's true. We've got some more.
Where did the money go, mate? Where did the money go? Anyway, yeah.
Well, hopefully it went to justgiving.com /page/thinkowl.
Yeah.
Donate right now, guys. So no, we've had that one. Where was I up to? Oh no, sorry. My mum was the opposite and told me my life would be easy if I could just be normal. Yeah.
Yes.
Be normal.
Yes. Yeah. My mum didn't do that, but other people were a bit excited by the idea that that would be good.
I must admit, I didn't get that from my parents. It's
That's
like,
good.
But the thing I find quite funny is that the same people who spend all our lives telling us to be normal, when we find out there's a reason why we're not being normal, they go, well, that doesn't exist. Well, you seem to think it was existing when you're telling me to be normal. There seems to be a problem there then. But as soon as I find a solution, and doctors who've defined, there are people who've got the exact same things I have, all kind of things on that range, you seem to suddenly not believe in it. It's weird.
Well, I think maybe what those people are mostly saying is, I don't wish to be bothered with this. You know, like that's all. It's just a kind of, I don't understand. I'm not, you know, and yeah, whatever you can do to not have to deal with someone with such a sort of pea-sized fucking outlook is probably good. Yeah, I remember, like, I've never forgotten. There was a day I used to row. Right? I used to row at school. Right, until they realized I wasn't good at it, and then I and some other boys had to stay back and, like, you know, do all the dishes of all the first, you know, the main rowing team. And I've never forgotten one of he wasn't even a teacher. God knows what he did at that school, because he didn't look after anybody. He's just standing there, and he just goes, you know, when I was a kid, we didn't have any of this ADD. This is how long ago it is, right? There's no age, right? No, we didn't have any of this ADD. We just had bad kids. And I remember that wasn't the beginning of him, you know, saying, oh, isn't it interesting that time has moved on? That was him saying, and we were right. But also, you're just there looking at him like, and so they used to belt the shit out of you, did they? Because that seems to be what you're saying, like but you haven't moved to the next gear, which is going, which was bad, and it's good we don't do that anymore. And then, sorry, but for like 30 years later, to periodically hear the same thing. And it like I've heard that before, mostly online, to be honest. But it's people like, oh, everyone getting diagnosed with ADHD. This wasn't around when I was a kid. It's like, I don't know, you're my age, so it certainly fucking was.
And also when they say things like, this wasn't a problem in my day, but then they don't want to be part of the solution. It's like, it's all right when we're blaming you, then things are a problem and exist. But when you get to solution, they don't anymore, and just you're on your own sunshine. It's just
but I mean a lot of it just seems to be like in terms of I don't know if you're talking about sort of like relatively intimate interpersonal relationships, but like I'm just saying like
different levels on different things. So it's like so what I'm talking about is a lot of like people in the street. So like I was in a photographic earlier, and someone literally said it's something in the water that causes autism after they found out I was trying to get some posters printed for this. And I just really calmly, because it's like, it used to be I'd get exasperated, then I came calmly to the conversations. Now, just because I've had this conversation quite a few times, I sort of, in my head, I internally sigh, but on the ground, it's like, right, I'm on the clock. I sign into my neurodivergent educational mode, and it's like, right, those studies that I know exactly what you're talking about, they're not peer reviewed. If you look up the study which this evidence based on, it is repeated a lot in the evidence, and people mistaken that for it being more valid because it's said by multiple people. But peer reviewed science shows that ADHD, that autism, blah blah blah. And I just went in with facts, and the guy, by the end of it, he believed me and kind of learned from what I was saying. But it was a bit worrying that I was on the same level of credibility, bringing in sciencey facts with some random YouTuber. And I know I'm just a random guy who's walked into that place, but I've got lived experience of it, and I've got my receipts. It's how undiscerning people are. It gets a little bit worrying.
Well, I completely understand. I mean, the thing is, that guy doesn't know anything. That guy is regurgitating a thing he's heard. However, I put something to you. If I didn't know something about someone, right, or about something, right, and I didn't know the person who was doing something, I wouldn't feel that it was socially appropriate to say anything out of nowhere, right? And the thing is, for someone who has just gone and said, oh, well, that's caused by the water supply, it's like, well, friend, with all the love in the world, have you considered an assessment? Because essentially what you've done is you've gone, oh, unit of information, here's my matching unit of information, and completely violated unspoken social rules, So, well, it's a thing you see a lot in Australia. Like, Australia has a hugely undiagnosed populace. So, when you're out, just on the street walking about, and some of it's cultural, but after a while you're like, no, some of these things are actually symptoms of neurodivergence. That's what's going on, but it's normal, and it's that meme about like, the guy going, oh, well, there was no autism back in my day, says the dad who's got the special car no one's allowed to touch that he knows everything about, says the man with the full collection of Deep Space Nine DVDs arranged in order.
Nana visitor who's going to be on later on in this lineup at 2 UK time, whatever time around the world.
Yay! Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, you slipped me into a natural plug there. It's when the first we've got these things called random chats, which is just little 10-minute video segments which I'm playing in throughout. And the first one, we don't actually start the game because we did 10 minutes on the Doctor Who finale. My special interest may have been given away by this. But I do say to people, I think it's necessary, though, to have the conversations. Like, that guy may have just selected some random YouTube information as being on a par with facts. But when someone's open to talking, it's like, I don't buy it the first offensive thing they say, because it's
Good.
ignorance a lot of the time. And if they're out to listen to you, I give them a couple of chances to not be ignorant. And if I'm still getting ignorance, like, oh, you're just a wanker who will never accept whatever I'm saying.
Yes. Well, I mean, like what that guy, to me, what that guy's doing would be roughly the equivalent of, say, you know, you were walking along and maybe, I don't know, maybe you were, I don't quite, it'd just be the equivalent of a guy out of nowhere going, Freemasons control the media. You know, it's just like, you could kind of, because I've encountered a lot of people like this, where it's sort of like, are you lonely? Is that what this is? You know, like, why, my God, are you this desperate to talk to somebody that you have to sort of go, you know, God.
Mind you, what you're saying about Australia does make some sense. I mean, it's like, think about it. Last time they caused a fuss about, you know, some sort of differences they might have had. We emigrated you to Australia where every animal's trying to kill you. Like, I could understand why after that you go, it's like, nope, everything's fine. Nope, no complaints here, mate.
Oh, indeed, absolutely. The country that absolutely gets, you know, everyone gets a fair go unless you were here before the white people got here, in which case, could you stop complaining about that, please? Yes,
exactly.
yes. My God.
Let's go to some more comments from the floor. Thankfully, schools teachers, Terry, which is an amazing teacher who looks out for all her students, no matter how different, same, whatever they are, like Terry's there for them. Thank you, Terry. We need more teachers like you. More on the point in recognizing neurodiversity and can put things in place to help. The biggest problem is having the funds help. Yeah.
Yes.
That might come up a bit today.
Yeah, funding and time. Yes.
Yeah.
Resources.
Dark shine light. I have a friend who discovered she has ADHD while doing teacher training and learn about it. Things are definitely improving in education, and female autism is a hugely underdiagnosed thing.
Yes, it is.
Yes. About.
Yes. I've got a song about that.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I thought you were going to bring out the guitar. I thought that was just.
No, I was thinking about it. No, I actually do have a song about that. It's coincidentally about that. It's a song called "Small Autistic Women." It was my my wife sort of at one point trying to figure out who my supporters were, and we were just standing around at a cosplay show one time, and she is a small autistic woman, and she went, "Who are these small autistic women?" And so as a result, I wrote this song. But yeah, it's
Play the song. What was that?
Yeah, right. Oh, sure. What's that? Okay.
I don't know how they're getting into the stream.
Why don't I? Oh, how interesting. Okay, good. And perhaps even in key. That might be an idea. But yeah, here we go. We'll just play an enjoyable instrumental called Tuning, shall we? Yes.
Well, at least I know, like, because this is, unless it's up somewhere, not likely to get the thing struck down.
Like a copyright strike.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
That's why we usually get to do music on this. It's like, unless someone's written something recently or it's not copyrighted.
No, I feel you. We've got I stream on Twitch and we've got huge swathes of total silence thanks to that. A little bit of copyright matching. How wonderful that some large record companies would like to come and have some of the money that you can get for streaming on Twitch. Ha ha! Oh, wow. It's almost like Spotify's not doing it for anybody. Okay, hang on. Here we go. Yeah, sure. Why don't we, Who are these small autistic women? What are they doing here? 99% of my friends wear the spectrum ends with non-binary finery and dyed hair. Small autistic women socialized to mask your interests and behavior, while the boys were told it was fine to know an unreasonably large amount about trains. We're all somewhere over the rainbow in the bit with the special interest section. Sci-fi, fantasy, S&M, DC, Marvel, science, books. Sci-fi, fantasy, S&M, DC, Marvel, science, books. Small autistic women, they can fix the computer, they can fix the TV, But the thing to remember is they can't fix me. Small autistic women. There you
Woo!
go.
Come on.
I know. A note of appreciation to small autistic women everywhere. And
if you like songs about neurodiversity, if that did, tickle your pickle, that'd be another one we got out there.
Outstanding. Oh, that's a fantastic lineup on that song. That's wonderful. Yes, I will also just say that usually in the intro to Small Autistic Women, we do tend to point out that this song is also about tall autistic women and medium-sized autistic women. And, if you'd be so good as to not think that give out, that would be quite helpful. So certainly that's something with my neurodiversity that's really, really assisted me, is that every once in a while, I don't realize that an insult is actually directed at me, because it couldn't possibly be directed at me because I'm not exactly the thing that was just said,
Yep.
Yeah. So that's the thing. You're like, oh, I don't know who they're talking about, but he sounds like a real piece of shit, whoever that is. Great.
Okay, so more comments from the floor. Terry again. For me, it was doing the ADHD testing with my daughter, and suddenly realized I fit the categories too. Yep. Tad embarrassing for a teacher, I might say. No, like they're just, we can all have that blind spot.
Oh yeah, look, these things happen. I mean, that happened to a friend of mine. They were watching a documentary in Australia about neurodiverse people, and eventually the dad, a little bit quiet at the end of the documentary, and he went, "Oh, I seem to fit most of that," and yep.
And I'll tell you, I am a bit surprised the ADHD side of it didn't come up for anyone. They didn't think, that guy is doing all those things, which anyway. But the autism, I can sort of relate to why I'm like waiting to be tested. But it was like the ADHD, like just autism couldn't get a word in edgeways. Once, like I was on the medication, which for me was very useful to process all the kind of overactive thoughts in my head. And for me, I kind of, after a certain age, I just felt tired all the time and unable to put the ideas into action in the way I used to. So the medication just allowed me to get on top of that. And suddenly it's like all these autistic traits, which I was blatantly doing, I can see them everywhere now, but some of which I had no idea about. Like, they just, they were that buried. It was like, it was a subset under the ADHD. This was happening at the same time. So ADHD really effectively masked it. It's, so yeah, I don't blame anyone for not knowing. It's,
no,
see someone else before you do yourself, probably. Terry also found when my eldest kid was diagnosed with autism, going through the assessment, I was like, is that not normal? Oh, yeah. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, that's a big one. Dark Shine Light, I have quietly, informally diagnosed my GP with autism for the number of everyone does that a bit responses.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, when my son was at school, I got so angry with a response, meaning like, I don't want to deal with that. Is like, aren't we all on the spectrum a bit?
Yeah.
You're on the end of the spectrum where it doesn't affect you. Yeah, you're on that end of it where you don't have it.
There you go.
None of these traits are unique to autism. I know that, but it's the severity of them which makes it autism, and not, I just procrastinated a bit on this.
Yeah, that is a fantastic point. That is well made. Yeah.
Terry, the amount of people I've heard saying things like, "Oh, she has these new letters they didn't used to exist." Yeah. That Bedlam, like it was empty, didn't have any neurodiversity.
Well, I mean, the street, well, it'd be like sort of walking around, office buildings in London and going, "No psychopaths here."
Yeah, I mean, I assume there's no way of like now finding this out. But it would have been fascinating to find out what levels of autism were amongst the people who were shipped off to Australia. Like, because we were just rounding up and putting people in kind of bedlam for any excuse. So I could imagine how people may have featured heavily in that.
I mean, a large amount. I mean, you see this in America now in a contemporary way, and you see it here as well. Like a large amount of the criminal system is people who haven't had various, whether it's neurodivergence, whether it's mental illness, like we're talking about this, these things have been untreated, right? And then when this is manifesting itself in behavior that's just right, that's decided to be criminal, and I'm talking here about petty theft and things like that, and homelessness gradually, so you have a bunch of elements there which aren't being looked after, because instead it's just, that person came into the shops and was a bit rude and dirty and we told them to get out and then they became angry. So now we've called the cops. And you're like, okay, well, there's a huge amount of factors that play as to why that person's behaving that way and responding in this way. But, okay, apparently the only effective thing to do is here's the boys in blue.
Yeah, and like the amount of homelessness, the kind of percentage of people who are homeless who've got neurodiversity is much higher than the general population. It's almost like they were pushing everyone to the margins of society. And now that we're coming up with like, oh, no, actually, we're all neurodiverse. They're like, oh, no, sorry, couldn't we do the marginalized society thing again? That seemed to work for us.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, that's a point of view, or there are just different levels of ignorance in various institutions, I would say. That said, in the US, obviously, when you've got the head of, the healthcare over there, very keen that there be no names for anything that weren't there when he was a boy. That's the thing. But yeah, like I've been quite impressed with at least, a lot more awareness, a lot more growth. I mean, certainly the lovely teacher in chat, that sort of provides me with a sense of great hope. I just don't think, I could be totally wrong, and I hope that I'm not, but I just don't think that it's at a deliberate institutional level, right, in the UK yet, in a country, right? I think that it happens, and I think that ignorance is everywhere.
I think it's because someone actually, sorry, this is going to get very serious for a second, but okay. It's like there was someone was, I think it was on a podcast, they were talking about this person on Pod Save the UK. It was someone who'd been shadowing Keir Starmer and had he was asked about kind of like, because he seems to be an enigma in some cases, people don't know where he's coming from. And he goes like, well, the one overriding thing I found from him was he thinks the system, it's systemically, it works, but it needs to be repaired to work as intended. I think the problem is that that's what we've kind of done for a long time, is tweaking things as opposed to making bigger systemic changes. Like we were talking earlier with a pain specialist who specializes in pain and neurodiversity. And talking about the interventions he did to help people get on top of their pain, it would save the NHS waiting list vastly. It would save so many other appointments. So it would be an initial outlay of cost, but it would save so much money tertiarily, if that's the correct term.
Sure.
And I think that's the issue, is we're not making systemic changes. We're trying to rearrange the deck chairs on the Titanic half the time.
Okay. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah. That's on a range of issues as well. It's not just neurodiversity. We want to tweak things as opposed to actually change them to something which makes sense. Like the benefits at the moment aren't tied to what someone needs for the essentials in life. There's a bill to try and get that happening. It's just a number they pull out of the air. Well, if it's not tied to anything, what's the point? How's it ever going to work if you don't tie it to the money people need to live? It's a flaw baked into the system. Sorry, I
understand. No, that's The whole thing with Starmer and the benefits is a horrific thing, and clearly sort of a bizarre and cynical vote getter. But from whom? There's a really flawed plan. Also, it seems to have been knocked down by his own party, which is good. But yeah, I mean, as I've said a bunch of times, it's like, well, once you've gone and given a huge historic defeat to the Conservative Party, it's a very weird thing to start cosplaying as them so soon after.
And it is a little worrying at a time when America, as we discussed, has decided that ADHD is something to be cured, that the UK seem to be following a lot of dog whistles from America. It's a little concerning.
Well, no, I feel you. What, like the thing that gives me a little bit of and various people who've seen me before will have heard me say this. As an Australian, what happens is, as goes America, so goes Britain, so goes Australia, right? However, that's becoming increasingly less true the longer I'm alive, and it's wonderful to watch. Like the Australians, right? we've had 2 consecutive elections where the Conservative Party has been obliterated, like to the point that the coalition that had won almost every election since I've been a boy, and I'm 40 years old, right? Almost every election since I've been, since there have been elections while I've been alive, right? They've split apart. And a big part of it is this. All the Conservatives in Australia do is campaign on American talking points because they think that that's what the electorate is interested in. And the electorate isn't interested in it. The electorate is a bit interested in getting on with their lives. Incidentally, their houses are on fire. Could someone kindly do something about it, right? And so over here, it's the same thing. And it's just a bit like, all right, some can survive in a right-wing media landscape. Some of this is so that you can appease the people who are meant to be your big fucking ally, right? Some of this is that. And some of this might eventually be the thing you actually think. But, it's embarrassing.
I just think my worry is like, it's the same sort of thing as when I'm watching American TV now. I find it really odd where it's filmed so much in advance. You see a world being reflected, which doesn't feel like the world which we're hearing about in America currently.
Mm-hmm.
Part of it is over normalizing things, but that's another issue. But it's, I feel like that's sort of at the moment with our government ever moving closer to what they're doing in the worst possible time. Like we need to see what's happening over there reflected, not like ignored and try to buddy up to someone who's making things so bad for people on the margins.
Yeah.
We're not seeing accurate. I just think it's happening so quickly. The danger of us following a couple of things and just one law, which makes huge difference to America, because like most laws aren't as consequential as every law that Trump's trying to put through at the moment. And it's just very disturbing. All it takes is following the wrong one to make a systemic change to the lives of people over here.
But what we have just talked about is that they're not interested necessarily in systemic change. So hopefully that original thesis is correct. There's a lot of noise that you'll see, right, where it's just, we're thinking of doing this. And like a lot of it, I mean, I'm just being cynical, but a lot of it at the moment is just the Labor Party deeply hoping that they can get some of the votes they think are going to go to reform, right?
Yeah.
And it's embarrassing. It's like, no, you've just won a historically large election, right? Maybe do that, right? These people aren't going to come with you. Like they're going to come with you when you can give them something that's convenient, but the dyed-in-the-wool angry blowhards, right, are going to stick around with their little posse because that's what they want to do. You know? So you don't do it for them. You don't have to do it for, let's just put it this way, right? When a huge amount of time, like say when I was a kid, right, what were the worst teachers we had were upset about essentially a noisy minority of students at the back of the room, right, who either weren't getting the attention that they needed, right, or were genuinely misbehaving, right? And these people would treat people who needed more attention like they were misbehaving, right? When these were people who had an extra need, right?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, over here, what you've got is this, a government going, there's a really noisy minority over there. We better cater to them. That's interesting. And what color are those people? White?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Just going to quickly rattle through a few comments from the floor. So when it was ADHD, now we have ADHD, soon AD4K. Yeah, that would be great. That's actually a new medication they're coming up with, ADHD 4K. It's going to be great.
Yeah, it comes in widescreen. You're going to really need to get your throat ready.
Artistico, my second year teacher wanted me assessed and my parents said no. I'll cry out of it. Oh God. I made the point multiple times. I'm unhappy with whatever support my kids need after I was blamed for not having it. No, good. Thank you for learning better than your parents. And I'm so sorry you didn't get the support. Accurate observation. I'm sure one of ours was. I don't like the toolmaker's son kiss. And from my buddy Michelle, who you can catch on G South by Southeast a couple of times, a bit behind here, but I was thinking the people that said no one's neurodivergent when I was at school probably didn't go to school with anyone with Down syndrome either. Yep. Did that not exist either? Sadly, anyone with anyone with obvious differences. Went to special needs schools. My next door neighbor did. I'm sure you remember him from college. Yeah. Yeah, just yes to all that. Quickly, I did want to ask you one more question before we go.
Oh, yeah.
So what I'm asking everyone, much to the theme of the day, and guys, please do put how you think differently on social media. Yeah, hashtag think different. So, John Robertson from the Dark Room, how do you think different?
Oh, I mean, I'm not here. I mean, that's pretty much the answer. Like, I'm never here. I've been several different places at all times. That's how I think different. And you know, I eventually manifest whatever it was that it was seemed to be required for the situation that we're in. But you know, like that's how I think different. It's just a bunch of different places. But like, think of it like this, right? I live a life of relative comfort, right? Because I've managed to fall into a line of work where everything that I have is a strength. I can't work in an office, you know. I can't, you know what I mean? Like, you know, it has to be this kind of thing where it's like, okay, go to a place where chaotic thinking and the ability to express that, right, has an instant bit of feedback, right? And with that you can work, and with that you can fly, but nothing else really, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it took medication for me to like. I'm so glad you had this sort of energy consistently to do that, because to me it was energy depletion and masking over time, getting worse and worse with feedback from the audience, which is life. And I'm glad you had the energy. Like, for people like me, having that medication would have made all the difference, because as soon as I was on it, I'm now kind of looking at booking things like making money out of what I do, and same wise. And I just couldn't put it together before. And it's like just something inside me knew that I was meant to be up there on the stage, that I couldn't do these other jobs that, yeah, I've done them for many years, but not well in a lot of cases, quite frankly.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm just essentially saying that what I had to do, as with various other people I've known, is I had to sort of try to reshape my professional life around this thing that I can control, but only to a degree, really. You know, so there's a huge amount of essentially, like, let's just put it this way, right? I've managed to do my own PIP assessment and make some reasonable changes, you know, but you know, in a moment, I'm about to go and eat the exact same meal that I constantly have, you know, and then I might go and put on another black T-shirt.
Well, the first one's got a bit sweaty during the day, you know, in this weather. So I just want to say thank you for being out there. Like, you said that you're not diagnosed.
Formally diagnosed.
There's no gatekeepers here on my Festor show, mate. Though, having someone with ADHD, showing what a positive it is, showing what we can do, show that we can be big, brassy, rude on stage, and still coat it with love, as you always do, sir. You're a credit to us, and thank you very much for being evidence of what a neurodivergent person can do when he's given the right environment around him.
You are a beautiful human being, and you are doing a wonderful thing. I wish you nothing but as much energy as you need for the next 20 hours. Bless your heart. This is bloody superb. Good on you.
Thank you, sir. I'll speak to
you. You're welcome.
Again.
See you later. Bye, doctor. Now you hang up.
It's not actually giving me the option of your screen.
I got it. Don't worry. It's okay. I got
it. I got it. I can see it. Hi. And by the way, I didn't get a chance to talk to him about it, but please check out John is on the Richard Herring podcast, which is amazing. I'm so pleased for him. And the Dark Room, just look it up online. It is amazing. There's no way of describing it. And that's it from Dr. Squee Show and Squeefest this week. We hope you enjoyed this week's interview. There'll be information on where to find our guest in the show notes. However, for the meantime, I've been Dr. Squee. That was my show, and a world where you can be truly anything. Please be kind.